Everybody, it's Suzanne Spooner, QHHT Level 3 practitioner in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm currently at home. I just got home from this session that I'm going to share with you today. It was so cool, and I wanted to record this while everything was really fresh in my mind. So I've got dogs around me and birds are singing, and that's sweet. It's a beautiful day here in Iowa. But let me tell you about this client. She is so amazing. I'm so excited to share this with you. So this client actually came and had her first session with me about 4 years ago. She and her husband traveled together. He had a session, she had a session. They both were amazing and awesome. Um, Her first session, her lifetime was as expressing herself as form for the first time, coming from source. So that was really fun. And then she ended up in the density of a body, which she just thought was the most ridiculously dense experience ever. Gave a lot of perspective on our physical awareness. Okay, so she reached out to me a while ago and she wanted to do a second session, which I love because her high self was just kicking it out of the park and it was a blast. Her appointment was originally in February, and she let me know, like the day of her appointment or day before, that she had missed her flight, and it was just wasn't going to work out. Sorry, we have a new kitten here. She might pop up here. She's so naughty. She missed her flight, so we had to reschedule. No problem. You know, those changes always happen for a reason, and it was no big deal. So today is July 10th, and this is when her session was rescheduled. So today was a really interesting session. She is also a theta practitioner, so she practices on herself. And a while back, she was doing that, and she received memories of a lifetime where she was wrongfully burned at the stake for being a witch. She just collected herbs. She made tinctures and medicines, and that was awesome and great. Um, Okay, oops. Oops. There's Daisy. But she's sweet. She's naughty, but she's very sweet. And she's just about 3 months old. She is. Okay, you stay down. It was an understanding of this traumatic life that she had. She got like the like she was reading the story. She didn't really get any emotions from it, just the storyline of what that life was like. And she talked to me about it before we started our session. And, it was very interesting. And of course, you never know where the high self is going to guide a client to. And lo and behold, this is where we go. We go back to that life. And there's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of confusion because she's a very good person and people don't really care for her. She lives alone. Her family has passed and she doesn't really have friends except for the forest animals, of course. But she gets accused wrongly of being a witch, and people actually make up stories to support this that aren't true at all. And sadly, there's like little children that were also accused that end up being killed alongside her. So sad. It was so sad. But it really kind of crushed her soul because she had a deep belief in God and she really believed up until the very last moment that God would save her. And then she perished in the fire. So that's the story that we get. And then we get over to her high self, and her high self wants to talk about that her soul is actually cracked because of that experience, this deep sadness that she felt from that life of betrayal, that she really had this deep faith in, and people weren't nice to her, and this false accusation happened, and her soul just was kind of crushed from that experience. She had gone on to live other lifetimes, we find, but when we're talking about this with her high self, it says it really needs to go to another source to get more information about this cracking of the soul. It doesn't know. Now, every once in a while, a high self will say, I just don't know what the answer is, or I need to go somewhere else, ask somebody else for information about it. So this is what happens. And this is so cool. This is so, oh my gosh, it's so cool. So the high self goes to the high self's guide. This is not necessarily the client's guide, it's the high self's guide. I don't know, but that might be the first time I've heard that one. Usually, the high self just has all the answers. But not only does the guide know about this kind of fractured soul situation, but it's going to call in help for healing. And it starts talking about her being in this healing chamber and is describing the healing chamber. She brings in record keepers, she says, staff of a degree. There's a very like shamanistic medical person there. And then what I'm calling source callers. They call in source because they need that source energy in order to repair her soul. And they say this is a very unique situation that they're, not that they haven't had that many cases where a soul has lost a part of itself. It's cracked. And so they call in the source callers. And then they start giving the source energy directions on what to do to heal it. It is so amazing to listen to. This is right at the beginning of the high self portion. So, anyways, that's fun. And then we just go ahead and we get into all of her amazing questions and healing of her body. That healing that she had in that healing chamber, she describes it really well, what this healing chamber is like. Really took care of a lot of her health issues, but we still go over everything and find out as much information as we can. Um, One question that she had from her first session was her high self kept saying things like, she just needs to trust more. And that's all good and great. But today she's like, I want a recipe, or I want examples. What do I do to trust more? So we get into that. But her list of questions are really profound. I love what she says about one of her last questions was all of us, our group, our humanity. How are we being supported and helped? And what are some words of advice that can be provided for us to settle our hearts and inspire us to continue on? I mean, how sweet is she? So great, great information. Oh yeah, this is so cool. Okay, so in her first session, it was shared with her that she and her husband were going to have another baby. Now, she wasn't pregnant at that time at all. It was a while later that she became pregnant. But right before she found out she was pregnant, her husband was looking at his cell phone, and he's like, "What the heck?" There's pictures on there that neither of them had taken. As they looked at them, they're very dark pictures. I'll share them here with you with her permission. Um, it's These pictures are taken in their bedroom at night, but the lighting is way off compared to how it was actually. It was lighter than what these pictures show. And one of the pictures has this blue line, this neon blue line that's going across the top of it. Like, that's interesting. Um, and then this other one, it's sideways, but you can see the figure of a child um, in the mirror. Okay, it's so wild. She tried to recreate the photographs just to see, what in the heck was this? And even in her recreations, it's nothing like what showed up on his phone by itself. So that story gets explained, and it is a mind blower. It is so crazy, crazy great. And lo and behold, she finds out just a little while later that she is expecting with their child that is now almost 3. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Digital cameras are so amazing at picking up things like energy and all that. So that was fun. Great story. And I'm happy that she's letting me share the pictures with you. Pretty wild. All right. I think that's all I've got for you. I don't know what I'm calling this one yet. It's probably something with the healing chamber because that was just so ultra cool. Um, oh, there was even one time that was so funny. Um, I thought I was talking with the high self, but the high self corrects me and says, "No, you're talking with the high self's guide." There's just, I don't know. There's a lot going on in that room today, which I just love. I love hosting a big group of energy. So anyways, I really appreciate my client for allowing me to share this with you. She at first was a little hesitant. She's like, let's do it. Let's go for it. And I think that healing chamber might be, I hope, beneficial for you, the listener. Maybe some healing will come through for you as well. Okay, other news. I'm working hard on getting our May Ancient Lifetimes tour ready to go. I think it's going to be live to the public to sign up. I'm hoping by mid-August. It's going to be an amazing tour. Oh my gosh. We're switching things up just a little bit. It's amazing and wonderful. And the September tour is sold out to the brim. I have like actually squeezed in a couple extra people. It's going to be a lovely group. It's amazing. Amazing must be the word of the day. I think that's how I feel after this session. But anyways, if you are on my mailing list or on the Ancient Lifetimes newsletter list, which there's no newsletter, we just blast out when a tour opens up or when an opening is available on the tours. They all sell out. They all go fast, especially the private rooms. So if you want to go with us in May of 2027, a little bit cooler time of the year, then you'll want to sign up on that newsletter or message me on my SuzanneSpooner.com website, ancientlifetimes.com or SuzanneSpooner.com. And then you will get that very first announcement. We do that before we go public on social media and let the people on the newsletters and the mailing lists get first wind of the tour. Please, please, please sign up quick if you think you want to go, because it always sells out and then everybody wants to go once it sells out. It's a funny thing. Okay, I think that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoy this one. Talk to you later. What's the very first thing that you notice?
That forest.
Say that again.
The forest.
The forest. Okay. Is it the same forest you saw before or different?
It's the same.
Okay, great. And tell me more about what you notice now in the forest.
Some of the leaves are falling off the trees.
Oh, nice. Are they colorful too?
No, they're dying. They're brown.
Okay. And what else do you notice there in that forest?
There's just so many trees.
Wow.
And lights going through their leaves and branches. So there's spots where there's light, but it's mostly dark. It's very dense.
Okay. Does it feel like it could be nighttime too, or is it just the density of the forest?
It's just dense.
Okay. And when you bring your focus closer to where you're at there, what do you notice close around you?
Just nature, trees, animals, birds.
Are there other...
I'm just standing there.
Just standing there, okay. I was going to ask, are you on your own besides the animals, or are there others with you?
No, it's just me.
Okay, you're doing great. And now bring your focus to yourself there. When you look down, do you see your feet?
Yes. I have boots on.
Oh, tell me all about your boots.
They look old, not worn, just...
Oh, interesting. Why do you think that is?
They're hand-me-downs. They're not necessarily worn out.
Okay. Do those boots go up your leg a ways, or are they just by the ankle?
They go past my ankle.
Past your ankle. And then what else are you wearing on your body?
I'm wearing white tights.
Okay.
They don't really look like tights. They're not tights. They're just white fabric.
Okay. And the rest of your body, what does it look like you wear there?
Skirt,
What color is your skirt?
Blue. Like cotton. Blue. Plaid.
Blue plaid?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Like a dark blue or a light blue?
Yeah. It's faded.
Okay. Maybe a little bit older?
Yeah.
Okay, you're doing great. Do you wear any jewelry or ornamentation on your body?
No.
Do you carry anything in your hands?
No.
And do you wear anything on your head?
I'm supposed to be wearing like a bonnet.
A what?
A bonnet.
A bonnet. Okay.
But I don't have it on.
Oh, okay. Do you have a sense why you're not wearing it?
I don't like it.
Okay. So the body, does that feel more female than male?
Yes, female.
And do you feel young or old?
Young.
Like a young girl or a young woman?
A young girl.
Okay. And does your body feel healthy or not?
Healthy.
Nice. Okay. And what do you do there in the forest? What do you like to spend your time doing?
I spend time alone.
What do you
I
do?
like being alone.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I like being alone.
You like being alone. Oh, nice. And when you're alone in that forest, what do you like to do?
Whatever I want.
Do you feel far away from home or pretty close to home?
In the middle somewhere.
Okay. And what are you doing that day? What do you notice?
I'm just picking up twigs. I just get to not do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh, what are you supposed to be doing?
Wearing my bonnet.
Oh.
And acting like a lady.
So you've taken it off and that feels kind of nice?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you're doing great. Is there anything else going on around you that you notice?
No.
Okay, you're doing
The
great.
animals know me.
Oh, tell me about you and your animal friends.
They think I'm weird.
Oh, why?
Because I do weird stuff. I pretend I'm fighting, but I'm not. Because I'm not allowed to do that.
Why not?
Because I'm a lady.
Okay.
So they're used to me being a weirdo.
Oh, they accept you for how you are?
Yeah, they don't care.
Oh, that's so nice. All right, well, let's do this. Let's leave that scene you're looking at and let's drift and float to where you live in that time that you're viewing, where you eat and sleep at, and now you're there. And what do you notice? What is that place like?
It's like a cottage. They started making it like a house, like a modern house.
Oh, interesting.
But they didn't finish it. So it's kind of part modern, part cottage.
And the modern part, what does that look like?
They're planks, like planks going up and down.
Okay.
But what doesn't make, that's the modern. What doesn't make it modern is like when it's a traditional cottage, it's timber or pieces of wood,
Okay.
like branches. They're placed like horizontally.
Oh,
So that's kind of the roof is made of twigs, like pieces of forest.
okay.
But the outskirts, like the walls of the cottage are vertical and they're flat. They're planks. They're not wood. I don't know how it's put together.
So it's been kind of like remodeled a little bit?
Yeah, like it's got started and it got left.
I see.
So somebody finished it.
And when you're inside of your home, and now you are, take a look around and describe for me what that is like.
There's herbs everywhere. They're drying. It's very small. There's a bed on a corner, left corner. Very simple bed.
And the area where the food is prepared, what does that look like?
It's in the same place. It's like it's very small. So there's like um, like a stove, but it's not really a stove. It's for the heat. It's kind of in the center of everything.
Okay.
And everything is off to the side.
And you have a lot of herbs drying in that space?
Yes, on one wall away from the fire. I want to say it looks like a cauldron, but it's not.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Like the fire is lit in the middle. It looks like the floor looks like there's wood planks,
Okay.
but it's like cut off in the middle to be able to have the fire because
Oh,
they're actual logs,
okay.
so I don't burn everything.
I see. Keeps you safe.
Warm inside because the rooms are really small.
Do you feel like you share your home with others or another, or is it just for you?
It's just me.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
I feel okay. The others, they don't really bother me.
When you go outside, are your neighbors close by or are they farther away?
No, I'm pretty far away from the town. Not far, I'm just not close to them.
Okay.
I'm a ways off.
Do you see neighbors from time to time or not?
Unless I go into town or they try to avoid me.
They what?
They try to avoid me.
Oh, why is that?
I don't fit in. I'm like cast out type of situation, outcast.
An outcast. And what occurred to make you an outcast, do you recall?
I don't follow their rules. They just don't make sense.
And all those herbs that you have drying, what do you do with those?
I make medicine.
Tell me more about that.
A lot of them. I make tinctures, oils, salves.
And then when you make your tinctures, what do you do with them?
I sell them. I trade for things that I need.
And what are some of the tinctures that you make? Tell me about what they do.
It has a lot to do with like when people are in the forest, or they brush up against like poison ivy. I'll make a cream, like a balm for them to put around their skin because they get really bad rashes and welts. Or it's natural medicine. It's very not like the town doctor. So some people are okay with my medicine. Other people don't like it at all.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I don't care.
Okay. All right, you're doing really good. Is there anything else about your home that stands out that you want to mention?
It's the only thing that's mine that no one can take away.
And do you get a sense of how it became yours?
My mother died,
Okay.
and so it became mine.
All right, you're doing great. Let's do this. Let's leave that scene you're looking at, and let's drift and float to an important day in that life that you're viewing, a day when something important is happening, and now you're there. And what do you notice?
Everyone's fighting. I'm just staying away because I'm just observing the commotion. There's something going on in the town, and everybody's been told to attend. I'm just in the background. I'm listening, but I'm just in the background.
And do you get a sense of what they're upset about?
No. No, but everybody's around the town square.
And what's happening now?
There's just everybody shouting. The men are shouting. I don't know what news they got. I don't. I just see that there's commotion going on. It's the men around first, and then it's the women in the back.
And what do you do next?
I'm just observing. Just trying to stay in the background, but just get informed because I know they don't like me.
So you just try to stay back where they're not noticing you?
Yeah.
And as you are there observing all this upset going on, what do you find out as time goes on about what's making them angry?
I don't know. Nobody talks to me. So I can feel the tension.
Right.
I can feel like I'm afraid. But I don't know. I can't ask because they won't tell me.
So what do you decide to do next?
I just do what I do. I just mind my own business. But I can feel there's something going on.
Do you stay in that background of the people, or do you move around at all?
I just go back to my cottage and just try to live my life. I don't understand what's going on, but I can feel like I'm scared.
And when you're back at your cottage, what do you do then?
I just go on with my life. I just continue doing medicine and doing what I do, preparing my bread, my food. And I'm just thinking of like what is going on.
Right.
I don't understand. I'm trying to piece it together. Nobody was crying. Nobody was accused of anything. It's just, maybe I should have been there sooner to know, to hear. But I think I got there too late, and I don't know what's going on.
So it kind of remains a mystery to you what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
I left because everybody started leaving.
Okay. And they weren't paying a lot of attention to you there?
No.
Okay. You're doing great. Well, let's leave that scene you're looking at and let's drift and float to another important day in that life. And now you're there. And what do you notice going on now?
They've come for me.
And what was happening that day before they started coming for you?
Nobody would talk to me, so I didn't know what was going on. I don't even know why they're here.
So that day, what are you doing at home before they arrive?
I was making bread.
And what do you notice that is first out of the ordinary?
They're knocking on my door, but it's not gentle knocking. I know they're gonna take me.
Oh no. You can just observe this if you want and tell me what happens next.
They're shouting. They're shouting for the townspeople. Some of them are there. Men and women. The men are banging on my door for me to come out. They're just shouting, "Take her, take her." I don't even know what's going on. I open my door and I'm asking them what's going on. They're reading a decree.
What does the decree say?
I don't even know. I feel so scared. I'm trying to stay composed. But I know they don't like me. And there's a lot of people.
Are any of these people the people that you helped with your tinctures?
Some of them, but they're in the very back. They're just observing. They're not in the crowd in front of me.
And do you get a sense of what that decree talks about?
No, I've just been arrested.
And then what happens?
Going to a holding cell. It's like a building, and it has bars. It has a little window with bars, and just like the cells are just bars in between. The whole building is wood, but there's bars in between in the middle.
Are there other people in there too? Or just
Yeah, there's other women. There's younger women than me.
Okay.
Girls. Me. The lady that does the bread, that gives me stuff for the bread. She's older. She's an older woman.
She's there too?
Yeah, she's in a cell. Everybody's in a cell by themselves. I still don't know what.
Do those girls or that lady, do they talk to you to explain things?
No. No one's talking. No one's saying anything. The girls are crying to themselves. It's dark. You can just see the moonlight through the light through the windows of the building.
And what happens next?
They bring in more people, more girls, more women.
And those that are holding you there, what are they like?
They're just like I guess the sheriff, like the police. But they're not inside. We're inside. They're outside. It's cold. I didn't even bring my coat. They didn't let me grab my coat. There's hay on the floor, so I'm just trying to warm myself up with a little bit of straw. Everybody else is doing the same.
And then as some time goes by, what do you find out?
They're just treating us so bad.
Do you have a sense now of why they put you in there?
No. No.
Does it feel like you stay in there for a short time or a long time?
I don't know. I'm just hungry and I'm cold.
Yeah. And anything else going on during that time that you notice that you want to mention?
The women still don't like me. The girls, they don't talk to me either.
Oh my goodness.
The bakery lady's trying to comfort one of the girls. But the other girls, they don't want me to comfort them because they don't like me.
And how does that make you feel?
Sad. But I mean, I want to be comforted too.
Right. Because you don't know what's going on, it sounds like, at all.
No.
What gives you your first understanding of why you're there?
It was something about being accused of something, and then the townspeople all started yelling, so I couldn't really hear what they were telling me, and I was scared, so I was trying to calm myself down. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know what. It doesn't make sense. Nobody talks to me. I haven't done anything. Everybody stays away from me. So whenever the crowd was outside of my home, I knew it was not good.
Yeah, that had to be very scary.
Yeah. I'm trying not to think of it because then I'm gonna cry.
Right. All right. So you're in there. They're not, the other girls and the lady aren't talking with you. And what's the next big thing that happens?
They're putting us in a chain with like shackles that are around the wrists. All of us, even the little girls. I guess we're going to trial for whatever I was getting accused of. I try to keep my composure this whole time, but I'm so scared.
What do they accuse you of?
I don't know until we get there. They're walking us out after they put everybody on the chain. We all have to go down the steps of the building.
And then what happens?
There's so many people around the town square. It's like the whole town and maybe another town is there.
Oh my.
They're walking us towards the middle of where they normally hold trials for people.
And then what do you notice?
They're just walking us around. I know the whole crowd is yelling stuff. I can't really hear what they're yelling. I can just hear my heart in my ears.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
It's okay. What happens next?
It's a death trial. I don't understand. I haven't done anything to anybody. Everybody on the chain is crying.
And did they tell you why you're there?
The priest is telling us that we've all been accused of being witches.
Oh, no.
Or doing witchcraft.
Okay.
And he's presenting evidence for each person.
Even the little girls?
Yeah. It's so sad.
Yes. And
They're
are you
just
able,
girls.
Are you able to say anything in your behalf?
No. We're not allowed to speak.
And when they're done telling each of you what you're accused of, what happens then?
They're trying, some of the girls' parents are trying to speak up for them. And their reasoning is fair. But the man who's talking is totally twisting stuff. He's giving dumb reasons for them against the girls.
Okay.
Obviously, nobody's gonna say anything for me. So I just don't say anything at all.
And then what happens after that?
They're putting us against a huge... It looks like a teepee. The town square usually has like a square, like a pole in the middle and a square, like a stage square, but that's not there today. It's a huge pole, and there's like hay on it, and they're just putting us around there. There's a hay bale per person.
Now you can just be an observer to this if you want to.
They're tying everybody in.
Okay.
I've never attended death trials, so I don't really know what they're gonna do.
And what are you thinking at that time?
I don't know what I did. I don't know. I know I'm gonna die. I feel angry. I feel angry with the people. I feel angry with that man twisting things that don't make sense, and the people agreeing even though they know it doesn't make sense. because they're just little girls. I feel like there was no point for my life if I was just gonna die.
All right, now whatever has happened has happened. You're on the other side of it now. And as you look back on that life, you can see the lessons that you learned. What were some of the lessons that you learned in that life?
I don't really know.
Does anything come to mind about what you may have learned in that time?
I have regrets.
What's that?
I have regrets.
Okay. What else?
I cared for people more than they cared for me.
Okay. And every life has a purpose. What would you say was your purpose in that life?
To make medicine. To help in the ways I knew how to help.
You probably helped so many people.
I did.
And those forest animals that were with you when you would be collecting your plants and
Yeah, when I was little.
yeah. Is there anything else about that life that stands out that you want to mention?
Confusion. There's just so much confusion.
Confusion about what?
Why?
Does anything come to mind about that?
No. I just don't understand.
Just don't understand. Okay, well, we'll get some of those answers then. I know you could have brought forth many different lifetimes and experiences for her to see today. Why was it important for her to see this life where she was taken away and burned with other girls and women?
Because it just wasn't, she wasn't alone. She wasn't alone. And she cares for people.
Right. And she had seen this lifetime when she was doing her own theta session. Is it the same lifetime?
Yes.
Okay. And why was it important for her to see in more detail today through this experience what happened in that life?
Because in the many glimpses that we gave her, she didn't feel any emotion. She didn't realize the same fear she has than she has now.
And why is it important for her to feel the emotion of that lifetime now?
So she can have something to relate to.
Okay.
Tangible.
And now that she can have something tangible that she can relate to, how does that help her moving forward?
She feels she helps people a lot. And therefore, in that lifetime, she cared deeply about people. She just didn't let herself show how much she cared. She didn't really care to have anybody else care. Like if somebody didn't care for her, she didn't care to change that perspective of her. She just went along with it. And therefore, everybody just kind of assumed like she didn't care. And it'd be fine. Even though there was people that cared about her or her well-being as a human, as a fellow human, not necessarily because they knew her. She feels the same in this lifetime.
And what do you want her to understand so deeply about all of that?
Her confusion was so great that she didn't get to heal completely. So her doing anything outside of religion that's deemed not of God scares her because of that lifetime.
Okay. And how can you help her heal from that great amount of confusion that she had at that time?
I need to call in help.
Say that again?
I need to call in help.
Okay. And explain to us, as you're calling in help, what that's like and what it's doing to help her.
I need to talk to Source.
To whom?
Source.
Okay. Oh, we'd love that. Please share with us as you're talking with Source.
She's broken. Her soul is broken.
From that one experience or others?
The accumulation of them all, but that one definitely fragmented her soul.
Okay.
Not intentionally. That was traumatic for her. Traumatic enough for her that her soul cracked, and healing a soul is not something I know how to do on my own. So going to Source I just
And what happens when you go to Source?
I really don't know. I need to talk to somebody. I know that's how it's done. I just don't know how to do it because in her soul cracking, kind of the rest of us is a little bit broken.
Okay. It really had a strong effect, it sounds like.
Yes.
And so what do you decide to do to ask for that extra help from Source?
I need to find my guides, my team.
And tell me about your team.
They're taking us to a chamber.
Say that again?
They're taking us to a chamber.
Okay.
It's the chamber where all souls repair after traumatic lifetimes. They just don't understand how it hurt the soul. Our soul didn't repair. There's beds. It looks like a clinic.
Okay.
But it's dark. It's dark.
Okay.
It's very dim lighting because there's souls in every bed, and it's like every bed has a dome, and in that dome there are souls repairing, healing, unfortunately reliving whatever trauma to make sure they catch everything and heal.
Okay.
So they're not understanding what happened with our soul. It's happened to different souls. It's just not, it's not common. It's very rare to have a unhealed soul go through more lifetimes again with that.
Okay.
Like usually they're healed and then they move on. But
I know sometimes they rest for a little bit and that helps heal the soul.
Yeah.
But this is much more than that.
They just don't understand because during the rest or being in the chamber, it kind of relives their lifetime and relives the emotions, and that way they can know what emotions are coming up or what fears or whatever that soul lived, and they're putting me in the chamber right now. We call it a chamber. It looks like a bed.
Okay.
With like a translucent type of dome over it. But they're outside. It shows you different things. So there's a person that helps from the outside to be healing the soul inside. But it's rare. Our case, we have a case now. We're a case because her emotions affect me and my outside of being a human, her human emotions are really affecting me. So I'm being put in the chamber along with our soul.
So you, her high self, her soul are all going into that chamber?
Yes.
And what is that like when you're in the chamber?
It feels nice. I mean, it's deep rest. It's controlled. We know what we're in there for. It's very dim. It's kind of like like a movie theater. You're just gonna relive the trauma in a way, like you're viewing that life, but they're trying to figure out why that specific trauma is affecting her soul, like how it stayed open, like how it didn't heal, and why it's affecting me instead of staying with the body in that lifetime.
And what is found out?
They're running tests. They're replaying the lifetime and just observing. I really don't know how long this is going to take.
So you're inside the dome and you're observing.
I can see them, yes.
They're running the tests?
Yes, because we have a case and it's very rare, there's more beings present, specialized in different fields. They're trying to figure out what happened, how that happened, to make sure it doesn't happen to other souls.
And so are they communicating with you about what they're testing and what they're finding while you're in there?
No, they're just they're replaying different parts of that lifetime, and they're just watching my reaction to it in a way, like reaction as my energy response to different scenes.
Okay.
And they're trying to match what the energy response to the emotional situation going on. They're observing, they're trying to figure it out.
And as you're observing them, what do you notice about what they're doing?
They're just focusing on their they're not papers, but they look like papers. They're files, I guess. Like some of them have like physical record type of things, and others have like tablets. They look like tablets, but everybody's just, it's kind of an emergency because it's rare and it doesn't happen. So everybody's been called in to bring records, history, resources, possible remedies.
And what do they determine?
All other lifetimes have been fine. It's just that previous lifetime and this one.
So the one she was showing in the current one?
Yes.
Okay.
They're matching. So they are trying to figure out. They're in a hurry. They're not talking to me. They're talking amongst themselves. They're trying to find a solution because she's currently in that lifetime. And they don't want another crack or anything to come and basically split her soul involuntarily. It's more like what is the right word? They don't want her soul. How do I explain this? Because if the crack continues through her soul, it'll fall off. Like that other piece that falls off is not going to be, it's going to die. It's not going to have source in it. So it's just going to go into darkness and die.
And they don't want that to happen?
No, that's horrible for any soul.
And so do they come up with a action plan?
They are done talking amongst themselves. So now they're calling in source energy.
And how do they do that?
I don't really know. I can't really see because I'm in the chamber. But there's people there that specialize in that.
Okay.
So there's the records keepers. There's the people that normally work there to heal souls. There's what we would call like a old medicine, a wise medicine person.
Okay.
They're the ones that carry all the healing records or, possibilities or ways of healing. And then there's the people that call upon source, not people, but they're just the beings that call upon source. And then I don't really know. They specialize in that. They're
Do they appear in like a physical form or something different?
Some of them do, some of them don't. Because some of them are in different galaxies. They're not where we're at. So they're just showing up as energy, in their energy form, versus their physical being form. And they have to do like a type of operation. So they're what we would consider in this life like surgeons, highly specialized surgeons, calling in source energy to mend our soul.
Nice.
Together.
So what is that like for you when they start doing that?
They're plugging in somehow. I have no idea. Like in the chamber, there's outlets, and they're plugging in a tube, and in that tube, there's source energy coming from somewhere, and pulling into that tube, and that tube is filling our chamber. It's very bright. Our chamber is very bright compared to everybody else's chamber.
Why do you think that is?
Because source is light. Source is energy, and light is filling up our chamber.
Okay.
And I'm just laying there.
Do you feel it, or is it?
I don't feel it yet. It's. I don't really know what they have to do with it. I can feel the high energy, and I can see the light. It's very bright, so I haven't gotten to feeling, because they need to kind of explain to the light, to the energy, what needs to be done. So they are, in other words, commanding the energy to do what needs to be done.
Oh, nice.
Because it's living, it's there, it just needs direction of being able to wield it. So the beings that are that are there that specialize in source energy. They know what to say and how to heal with it. They've started. And I feel her emotions. But it feels warm.
And what happens now?
They're having to extract things out of our soul.
Okay.
That's what they figured that kept the crack open instead of letting it heal. So once it healed, after that lifetime, there was opposition. I don't know the word negativity in there.
Okay.
The hate she built was so great that it reopened the crack.
Okay. So they're taking something out?
Yeah. They're pulling it out now.
Do you get a sense of what it's like as they're doing that?
It doesn't hurt. I don't really feel feel anything. Energetically, I'm just watching it go. It's just the emotions of pulling that out of our soul is intense.
Right.
It's a little weird because we don't really deal with those emotions necessarily.
Right.
So it's a little weird that it's affecting me from not being human.
Because you said that confusion and anger affected all or other aspects of her soul.
Yes.
And even you, the high self.
Yes. So I'm glad it's getting removed. It just feels weird to feel emotions
Right.
like that, so low vibrational. It feels odd.
Okay. Does that take long for them to do?
No, it's just I'm flowing through the emotions.
Right.
Now they're making sure that everything is like there's nothing else in the soul trapped in there that might cause another crack.
Good. How will she feel differently after this repair is made?
She's gonna feel whole. And she's definitely not gonna feel that very old resentment and hate and anger. It's like a virus, like that got lodged in there, and the first time after that, nobody caught it, and it started spreading. And little by little, through every lifetime, it kept growing and growing and growing until it's finally cracked. And they're just inspecting our soul to make sure that there's nothing left in there. There's no pieces. There's nothing.
And so when they're done doing that, what happens next?
They are putting together our soul. You could imagine like a heart, like how you draw a heart currently. And then, you know how they draw a broken heart?
Right.
Like it's kind of hanging off there. That's exactly what our soul looked like.
Okay.
So that piece was going to fall off. So that's why it was an emergency. It was urgent to get this repaired. Because it can't do that. So they're putting it together, and now they're commanding the light to mend our soul together. So we don't feel, or she doesn't feel like she's in oppositions with herself all the time.
Oh, wow, that'll be nice for her.
Yes. They're saying that when they started doing it, that's when they noticed, because it wasn't mending. So they had to pull out the rest of that virus, negativity, I don't know what to call it. The emotional virus in the soul captured there.
And by healing that, does that affect that life where she was accused of being a witch?
No. They're still not sure how her emotions got skipped over. That little bit of life, like, caused such a great ripple through her that lodged itself into her soul. And she's been carrying that around for so long.
But not anymore?
But not anymore. But it's kind of having to go through the grieving process of having in a way having that taken from her, because that virus was growing and therefore was making her not her whole self.
Okay.
So she's kind of grieving. We're grieving. The soul is grieving. This is the process of not being our whole selves through every lifetime.
Okay. She's just making that awareness?
Yes. But we also know that there is a reason. We're not understanding of the reason just yet. But I'm pretty sure we will, maybe after the process is complete.
And once the process is complete, what happens then with that healing chamber?
They're making sure all of that is, the grieving process has been done. The emotions have been flowed out of us, in the sense, like, it's not going to affect me nor her soul, because those are human emotions. They don't really belong here in that sense, at least not that strongly. They're finishing up. They're just commanding the light to do what needs to be done in a language I don't understand.
Do you think her guides and source and the record keepers and the staff and the specialized medical people, are they learning from her as well?
Yes, we're a case, like how they open investigation cases. We're one of those cases, because it's so rare. They're not understanding the amount of, I don't want to say power, but like energy to cause that.
Okay.
To cause a soul to break is equivalent to someone being tortured their whole life, the whole lifetime of torture. That's the only time they've ever seen cases of such.
Okay.
I mean, it could be impactful events or causes, but for that to happen is not, it's beyond torture. It's more, it's intentional torture. Like different, it had to be another higher being type of torture to that soul.
Okay.
Versus a human to human torture.
Oh.
That's different kind of torture. It's more like, it was not human. It was inhumane torture to her soul. And they're trying to figure out like what, I mean, by all means, I'm surprised as well because I didn't catch it. I didn't know it was there until this lifetime.
So was that happening like during the time she was arrested and held and tried?
I want to say she released all her power towards, she gave herself away basically from the light towards negativity, towards anger, towards hatred. She let it in during those last moments of her life when she realized she was going to die.
Okay.
She felt so betrayed and so angry, not just at the people, but everyone, everything. And that's what caused the virus to kind of start consuming her, or that piece that was broken, that was about to fall off.
She had mentioned earlier about, in that scenario, about feeling betrayed by God, that she thought God would come save her.
Yes. She was so devoted, and that's what we had shown her in the mini session she had, that she's so trusting and so loyal, which are great traits. It's just her not receiving that back. And it is what she feels and felt like she was confused. Like she didn't understand why that had to happen. But after we explained in her mini session why it had to happen that way, but her soul didn't let go of that hatred and that betrayal and that anger. And it festered throughout different lifetimes. And it grew because the lifetime she had after that, which lifetime, healer lifetime, she was a horrible person.
Oh.
In the next lifetime. That was her contract. And that just amplified what she was already feeling, but that was one of the main reasons why she had to go through what she had to go through in the healer lifetime, because she needed to understand basically how to be evil in human terms of the next one.
Wow. Do you think that will surprise her?
Yes and no.
Okay. Wow. That was so much amazing information. Thank you for that. Would it be okay if I went in with her list of questions now?
Yes.
Okay. And would it be appropriate to ask for a scan of the body?
Yes.
Okay. Please scan the body and tell me where you are focusing on for healing and repair for her today. We do expect full and complete healing today. Where are you looking at first?
Her elbow and shoulder.
Right. That's on her list too. She says that she really feels the discomfort there, especially when doing energy work
Yes.
with a specific group.
Yes. Sometimes it's a lot. It's a lot of energy flowing through, and sometimes she can't handle. So we're just, let's say, upgrading that area of her body to be able to handle that, because she's flowing energy, as everybody is, but it's that it kind of gets stuck there.
So the origin of that issue was what again?
Some of the energy that she's working with is getting stuck there.
Okay.
In that specific area of the body. So sometimes it becomes too much, and it becomes painful for her to be able to just normally flow, because most of the time humans aren't aware that they're flowing energy at any point in time. But for her, it gets stuck there, so it becomes painful, and therefore she can't really do anything physically. Why is it getting stuck?
In her energy work, she thought she was working with a helpful group.
Yeah, sometimes it's just intense, and I'm realizing right now that festering of that lifetime is affecting, well, now it was affecting her there. It's like the tissue was remembering things it shouldn't remember. So now that thing is gone from our soul, she should be able to flow energy fine.
Nice. So that really probably changes a lot for her, doesn't it, in her physical body in this life?
Yes, and working with the groups, that is part of the trigger of why the tissues were remembering certain things.
All right.
And therefore they're trying to help her in stopping the energy flow to save her, to keep her safe. But it was doing the opposite. It was hurting her.
What can she do afterwards to maintain that healing?
She's not going to have to do anything. Just the regular, keeping the body healthy and exercising, stretching. But it was something that was missed by many. And it wasn't anything she did necessarily.
Okay. How is that looking now?
It's looking good. I think she feels the sensation going through her arm.
All right. Anywhere else that you're looking at?
It's just her heart, but I couldn't help that. I needed help, so that was kind of our heart soul area.
So that was looked at when she was in that healing chamber?
Yes, that was the problem for a lot of it.
Oh. Well, she does mention also random pains in her lower abdomen or ovaries.
Yes.
What do you see going on there?
So I think a lot of her issues from physical body are from that, I'm going to call it the negative virus, because that is an area where a lot of suppression occurs. So in her, let's say, putting out that energy surge of hatred and it kind of bounced back into her. So like her hatred of being oppressed, of being told what to do, because she was a female, and in that lifetime there's not much going for females. Like that could be helpful or self-empowerment, self-autonomy was not something allowed through society at that lifetime. So therefore she internalized that hatred towards the people, but it kind of went back into her.
Well, she even voiced at the end of that life that she felt there was no point for that life.
Yes, so that was just her anger. She just, because it ended right away after all those emotions bubbled up, it's just everything from that lifetime jammed into a few moments in that lifetime. Just kind of all came together and it kind of ended, so there wasn't anything to repair after or look back on or in physical form.
Okay.
So that was a missed opportunity in a way. But I think everybody's learned now here.
Okay.
Maybe not end like that. Other souls, other lifetimes, leave possibly room or address those things during the healing chambers.
And what will she notice differently after the session in that area of her body?
I don't think she's going to hurt anymore. She's not going to have any more random pains because we've let that go during our healing chamber.
Okay. Wow, that is such a beautiful experience for her to have.
Yes.
And she can go back to that experience any time now that she knows about it, I would imagine.
Yes, I think she'll piece a lot of other things together now that she has a full comprehension of kind of what happened and what things kind of occurred from there in her own feelings, in her own way of thinking of things.
Right. Okay, thank you for that. She does mention about feeling nerves throughout her body, times when she feels like her body is cramping up. What does that originate from?
Stress.
And tell her everything she needs to know to understand that.
Stress in your body can only handle so much stress. And therefore, we need to find ways to completely be in a place where you can regulate stress. There is the current way that she's actually been doing it very well is music. It has to be like higher beats per minute music to regulate her. And I think she's noticed it. She plays her same playlist over and over. And that's kind of what it is. It'll help regulate her stress levels to where she's calm and not. In another way, she's also releasing stress when she does listen to that music, because it puts her more, I guess, high vibrational in a sense.
Okay.
Meanwhile, it's regulating her system. It's kind of just because she'll jump around with her kids and they'll do like little dance parties with that music because the kids regulate too. And they're jumping around, doing dance parties, being silly. So that helps release a lot of the stress and her, like, pent up stress in her body, because the physical body can only handle so much.
And what is being done to help completely heal that for her today?
It's just her knowing, because now, besides the heart part, the soul, the fracturing of the soul, everything else, she just needs the know-how. So everything else will she'll stay on top of it, knowing how to do it, how to, when she's starting to feel stressed, just play her music and regulate, because she knows physically how. And her ovaries, that was not really her, it was just the root cause, and her elbow and shoulder was the root cause of the soul fracturing, negative virus.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. She says that I think some of these questions relate to what you've already talked about in the healing chamber, but if you can give us any extra information, that would be so great. She says she feels unsafe in her feminine. She feels like various people or things try to oppress her, and I don't feel free, she says.
Yes. That was what we were feeling when I said I was feeling affected from her emotions. That's kind of the same feeling that I was feeling, and it felt odd to me. So yes, it's the now she's gonna feel like nothing can oppress her. She's like unoppressible. And it's gonna feel freeing for her, because she was carrying that for a long time, that we all missed, that was there. And it's unlikely for her to have that same feelings again. She will remember, but it's not going to affect her in the same way, because that virus is gone. It's going to be a complete change for her.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And she says she feels so angry towards Source and God for letting her trust so deeply and then feeling abandoned, and towards herself for letting herself be betrayed.
Yes. There's that again. And it's changed. Now that it's gone, she'll feel her whole self. She'll feel like a new person, literally, but familiar to someone she used to be before that lifetime, before that shattering happened, or that effect, that virus happened. Because that's who she used to be. That's who she's been. And she needs to understand that she went through various lifetimes with that in her. And it takes a really strong soul to carry that around, and having it fester and cracking. I'm amazed at that. The beings are amazed, because I've never really seen it happen. It's very rare. And therefore, I think she'll end up being able to have a good understanding with Source. She understands why it happened, but the feeling of betrayal against Source or herself, I think that's finally mended completely.
Okay. And she says she feels so sad and pity for herself for wanting to trust people and not being able to, because anyone's betrayal is something that is expected from her now.
Yes, it was before, but it is not anymore. She doesn't have to worry about it. I mean, yes, some people, there may be things that occur that may feel that way, but it's not going to feel as deep as that hatred and betrayal was feeling before when that negative virus was present, because now she'll feel it a hurt, not a deep wound like before. And she can bounce back from hurt or lessons learned from that type of hurt. But it's not going to be something where she just goes down that type of hatred that she was carrying around.
Okay. And this really, she really was getting so close to what you've shared with her today about her soul having a crack in it. But she said, I feel like I am breaking in my heart and in my soul, and maybe the duality of trusting and chancing betrayal, but being fiercely loyal, have also been not having loyalty reciprocated.
Yes, she was almost there. Definitely right on the point with our soul cracking.
Right.
So to better explain the soul cracking, it's kind of like the negativity virus was there, and it throughout the lifetimes of more events like that she had that emotional reaction, those specific emotional reactions to the events happening throughout different lifetimes made that virus grow and grow and grow. And into this lifetime, it finally cracked. And it felt to her like she was broken, because she was.
Wow. And do you think now she's got all the information that she needs to understand?
Yes.
Okay. One thing that she mentioned from her first session about almost 4 years ago now was that you were telling her a lot that she needed to trust herself. But she says from that she needs more specific information, like a list of what to do or examples of how to trust herself. What can you give her on that?
So from there, I was wanting her to trust herself, because she was starting the journey once again as a healer. And because of this other lifetime, we hadn't noticed her soul cracking. And it was not in that first session, I needed her to continue her healing and not shy away from it. Even though I knew she was scared, I didn't realize how deep that went until now that we've healed. But she needed to continue on. And I'm really glad she did, because she can now move forward without feeling that. Because for a long time she felt like if she talked about it or shared her own healing discoveries and try to help other people heal in the same manner that she had, or, you know, something around that. She felt like it was going to put a target on her back, and something, you know, someone was going to basically do what they did in that lifetime to her. They're going to call her out and kill her. And in this lifetime, she has a family, she has children, so she's mainly worried about them. But she needed to trust in herself, in her abilities, in everything that she chose for this lifetime, in her contract, to be able to get her to this moment.
Okay. Wow. Beautiful. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and move on to her personal list of questions, unless there's anything else about her physical body you want to look at or talk to her about.
Go on.
Okay. She wonders, why was she terrified about saying yes to the second session? We were scheduled in February and she missed the flight and was very worried about the session. What can you share with her about that fear that she has?
It was the virus.
Okay.
The negative virus. It was very deep rooted in her, and anything that came to the truth of or paralleled with that other lifetime, such as healing, doing energy work, doing anything like that, it would start putting her in a fear mode. Like it would, you know, that virus part of the soul would start activating and kind of leaking out into other places where it would give her that reaction to feel terrified for her life. It's not the only time it's happened, but the times that have happened in that way, they're very crippling to her. So it was just the soul knowing that we're going to relive something that had broken her in the first place.
So do you think...
The fear was reactivating.
Okay, got it. Oh, that's so interesting. But do you think she understands, or she has some information to understand now to let that fear go?
Yes. So that crippling fear has been removed with the virus.
Great.
So it's more, how do I explain that? It's more like every soul, after it heals in a lifetime, it needs to, it goes into the chamber to heal. And therefore you kind of start new. Every lifetime you start new with new emotions and a new baseline. What she was going through was something old, something that had festered. It was like putting bad lifetime experience on top of bad lifetime experience on top of bad lifetime experience, like as if it never got cleared. So it was such an accumulation of that kind of experience that it cracked her soul. So now we're finally starting this lifetime new. She's not carrying any of old emotion from any other lifetime, nothing of that sort. So she's starting at basics, like where, you know, her exploring what fear is as a new soul, as a new, fresh, clean soul, instead of carrying old wounds and fears from accumulated other lifetimes, because technically you're not supposed to remember, or other lifetimes should not be interfering in your current one.
Right. That's how most experience their different lifetimes, would you say?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Now, her husband found some unexpected photographs on his phone taken in their bedroom at night with a form in the mirror. This happened just before she became pregnant with her last child. What was that showed up on his phone, and how did that happen?
She says it's the baby, and it was. It's just kind of, he was popping in to kind of see how, what he was allowed. He was allowed to come in and do a mini preview of the life that he was choosing to enter.
Okay. Who took the photos?
He did.
Okay.
So he's destined to match up with technology well. So he was messing with it and just kind of exploring what all kind of his life was going to be like. And he was playing around with technology.
The one photo with the straight neon blue line across it, what was that?
His light, because he wasn't in actual form during that.
Wow. And that picture that looks like a child from the side,
that's his form. It's his being form.
Okay.
His outside of human form, yeah.
Kind of long hair, and or was that just a different part of his form?
They have kind of oval heads, and they're medium sized. They're not necessarily tall beings.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was just his actual form.
Okay. And she became pregnant just a few weeks later?
Yeah. So he checked it out, I guess you could say, and he returned to say yes to that contract.
Wow, that is so cool. Was he aware that those photographs would show up on his father's phone?
I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure he hoped they did, because he was trying to take a lot, and he didn't know how that thing worked.
Okay. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, very good. Okay, and again, this might relate to what you said before, but she does ask specifically, why does she have this fearful idea of turning evil or going to the dark side?
Because she was about to. If there was no intervention for her soul, she was about to. Her soul cracking, that piece would have just fell into darkness. Not necessarily bad darkness, but that piece would have died of her soul. And the rest of the soul would have just kind of festered in that virus, that negative virus, and just consumed her.
So the intervention was at the healing chamber she experienced today?
Yes.
Okay, wow. Okay, I just have to ask then, what would her life have been like if she wouldn't have had this session or had that experience?
There would have been, I'm not sure how to explain it, but I would put it to say that we would have lost a warrior in our cause, in Source's cause. Yes, we would have lost her to the opposition.
Wow. Well, and she's had these thoughts then, does morality even matter? She says, my morality feels like it's going out the windows. Now it doesn't seem to matter what evil I'm doing. She was talking also about people that do evil things but seem to have very good lives.
Yes. So there is a balance of what humans call morality. And from my perspective, I would say it's more like it's just a balance. It's a very fine balance. So for her, she does morality. Her morals are mainly based off of the Catholic religion because that's what she grew up in. But as she's been exploring and kind of piecing things together that make sense and don't make sense, like many others have and are and will be, are her values and her morality are starting to change. So, for example, her idea of killing someone in self-defense does not cause guilt as much as it used to, based on when she was following the moralities of Catholicism. And so now she's not trying to justify morality through anyone else but what rings true for her. So there are rules that religion has placed of what is right and what is wrong. And for her, it's always been about the context of what is right versus what is wrong based on her understanding of the context. Because for example, killing someone under that religious rules means that the person is going to go to hell, whether it's self-defense or not. And it just doesn't sit right with her that if, there is balance that needs to be done, she talks to flies. So in that context, for her to understand, when she tells a fly, she always gives a fly an ultimatum of if they're in her house, she's going to have to kill them, but they have the option to leave. So to her understanding, the flies come into her home to die because that is their lifespan, and they're coming to her to help make that process happen.
Okay.
That's the end of their life. So
pass over to the next experience.
Yes.
Okay.
So same with bugs. Like any bugs she finds in her house, she asks them to leave, and if she comes back and they're still there, to her that means that they're needing help to cross over. Okay. In other words.
Okay. Well, that's a different way of looking at it. I really appreciate that.
So that it's the same here. Like her morality is changing. Like it's not, there's always an option. They always have an option, but it's kind of the context of what it actually means and rings true for her.
Well, then, based on the understanding that source is everything and everyone, is there actual evil or opposition that we need to be aware of?
Yes and no. The source is everything. everyone. That's correct. It goes back to the balance. If there is a lot of good, you don't experience, because a lot of people think that if everything is good and everyone's happy, life should be fantastic. But it's the opposition that makes you appreciate the fantasticness of what you're living. So, for example, if there is no, let's take love, for example. If there is love and only love, how do you know you're in love? How does that become an experience if you have no opposition? If your love doesn't leave for a while and then you miss them and then come back, reunite, how there is no experience there. You're just living. You're just basically walking through something like a zombie, whether it's evil or good. You have to have the balance of things opposing each other. And living in that balance is what makes life an experience. Another example would be like betrayal. If you are not betrayed at some point in your life by little things or big things, if you don't have that betrayal, how do you know that you've recognized trust or loyalty? And there is no real knowing, because we've come to this life to discover and experience. And without either or, you're not really discovering or experiencing anything. In other words, like with money, when people grow up with money, they don't really experience hardship. They won't know how to value their money, and therefore generational wealth is gone within one lifetime. Same with poverty. If it's too much poverty, for someone to not get out of that zone of poverty without wanting more, you're not going to experience, having different riches in life, whether it's your health, whether it's love, whether it's actual wealth. We don't experience it if we're too much under each one. And therefore, the balance needs to be kept. And currently, the balance has not been checked, and it's not in balance. So that's what is considered evil has taken over, instead of it being balanced.
Okay, thank you for that. What does she need to know about the tickle that goes up her back from time to time? She says she feels like her heart is bursting with so much knowing when that happens, that she has something to do, but she doesn't know what to do.
The tickle in her spine is energy. It's just, it wasn't flowing due to her shoulder. The negative virus kind of leaching out, and it's making things stuck. And that's why she wasn't feeling the full surge of the tickle go from the base of her spine all the way up. But she'll feel it different now. That's just kind of her awareness, or a reminder is probably better wording, of her flowing energy during different times, different moments in her life. The bursting of knowing, she she'll accumulate energy and she'll kind of surge out energy like in waves. She doesn't really know why, but it's just an accumulation that releases through her in surges, because she's a very high energy person.
And why is it changing now, and how will it change?
It's changing because that virus isn't there anymore. That was kind of a big that was like a big obstacle, we can say. It was interference with her natural rhythm of how energy flows through her. The changes she will feel are full surges. It's not going to get stuck anymore. Energy was getting stuck throughout her body. And now that it's gone, everything will flow normally, naturally, without pain, without feeling like you're going to burst, without interference. It's just going to flow. It's going to feel natural. No more pain, no more hurt.
And she says that she knows she has a fiery personality in some ways. She doesn't know how this is supposed to serve her in life.
She does. Those were parts that she picked for herself for this lifetime because of what she will be doing, or what she's done so far. It was not really in her contract to have her soul shattered. So I'm kind of also we're all kind of understanding, we're watching her because that wasn't in the contract or part of the plan. So we're seeing how we know she'll recover. We're just seeing how far she'll recover, how of what was planned with the potential that we knew she had without knowing that she had a cracked soul. So I guess a piece of her soul potential. Now she has her whole soul. So now we're observing to see how much better this plan's going to go.
Okay. There were so many other specialized beings that were brought in for that process. What do you want her to know from your perspective about how that's creating knowledge in other ways?
Her loyalty to Source was so great. There's other souls that are similar. They will do anything for Source. And that's kind of what we're theorizing, that maybe helped her go through other lifetimes and go into this lifetime with a cracked soul. That loyalty, that fierce loyalty to knowing where she's from, who she is, and her gratitude to Source is her loyalty to Source. And therefore, I feel like she had a lot of confusion as to why she was feeling the way she was and why she was feeling that duality of being afraid of stepping into her own power, into her whole self, because if she did that, then that meant that she's loyal and she would have done it, but there was something that didn't feel right to her, and therefore she kept holding herself back.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, she wonders what is up with that energy buildup that happens when she and most of us can all feel the change to the energy and sense that something is coming. The example she gave is like when the Epstein files dropped, big global things that happen that build up that energy.
Yes, she's not a new soul, so therefore she's one of our old souls in that sense, to Earth. But she is one of our most loyal souls that don't. She can do evil contracts, let's put it in that term, of, being a bad person, let's say, in a lifetime, and live a whole lifetime being a bad person and do evil things to other humans. But that does not affect her loyalty when she comes back. And therefore, she is one of our other people feel it, the calling, and it's just kind of to ready up, because we need to check the evil or negativity or opposition in the balance. We need to rebalance humanity, and she's one of ours. So therefore, I don't want to call her a soldier or a warrior, but that's kind of what they do.
Well, she says she's felt that call. Sometimes that she just feels like she's going to have to sign up and go to battle for something that she feels strongly about.
Yes, that is us. That is the call that we receive, because we know that's like, if we need to call upon her and other souls like her, they'll be first in line because of their loyalty to Source. Whenever I say loyalty to Source, it's even though I'm her higher self, her souls are fragmented intentionally. So there's other pieces of her soul in other bodies. But this, in her whole self, how do I explain that? She's a loyalty fragment. So if Source calls upon her, we're all going, whether we want it or not. She will make it happen. All other pieces need to assemble, because her loyalty is so strong that she will call others to whatever the cause, Source.
But she wonders why others aren't as loyal to her.
They don't, until she meets someone that's of her same soul, loyalty, fragment, similarity, or caliber, then she'll understand. Because she's dealing with other soul fragments of other people that she meets that are not loyal in the way that she is. She's pretty sure she's going to be confused. As we pick our parts for this lifetime, for a current lifetime, we're picking different things, and part of her nature is that source loyalty. And in that, she will other parts of her soul aren't as loyal as she is in this fragment of her soul. Everybody kind of fractures differently, intentionally, to have multiple experiences, obviously. But this part of her soul that's in her currently right now is the loyal part compared to the rest of her. If other people would have met another part of her, another part of the soul, she wouldn't be feeling this. She wouldn't be feeling like people aren't as loyal because they're not. They're other pieces. There is a piece of, each person that she meets that is as loyal as she is. It just happens to not be not be the one that she's met.
Okay, thank you for that. She wonders, why do certain kinds of people keep showing up in her life? And she was giving examples of people that are supposed to be friends or family that do unkind things, that she doesn't quite pick up the cues until it happens repeatedly.
Yes. A part of that will go away with the virus, the negative virus, because it was open. The negativity had cracked her soul open to allow the same, kind of like a same repeat of the healer lifetime, in feeling betrayed, in feeling opposition, in feeling picked on, in feeling outcast, in feeling all the feelings, the different characteristics of different people have come across to her. And I apologize to her because it should have been a warning to me, or awareness to me, to see that there was overlaying, like those traumas were repeating into this lifetime from that lifetime, so that I should have picked up on what was wrong.
Because she says it hurts to not have people reciprocate what she has put out.
Yes, because of that crack in her soul.
Right.
Because it is very hard for a soul to carry on things from other lifetimes. And it's like having an open wound, and then it just reopens, and it reopens, and there's like people trying to poke at it with stuff. Let's say a kid picking a twig and poking an open wound, and it's just different people taking turns and poking the wound with different things, and it was really hard to carry having the wound and it hurting when people poked and prodded in the different ways to relive those experiences. But now that it's healed, she doesn't need to worry about it because it's not going to hurt as deeply as it once did.
Okay. So she was concerned because it was friends at first and now it's family members.
Yes, that should have been a cycle I should have caught on to. But I'm suspecting that since it was a whole soul crack, I'm not really sure at this moment of who I need to ask to clarify.
She had been told that it was an autistic situation where she wasn't picking up on cues.
Yes, that is part of that. I'm referring to the cycle of it being friends and then coming closer to being family. It's something I should have picked up on, but I feel like maybe it's a lesson for me as a higher self too. But I need to speak to guides to confirm.
Can you do that now, or?
Yes.
And just let us know what is said.
It's for growth.
It's what?
It's for growth.
Okay, for growth. And
for growth of the higher self.
Oh, of the higher self? More than the individuated life experience?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
As they're in charge of souls. They need to learn also. We don't know everything, so therefore we need to grow as situations occur. The source is the only one all-knowing.
So she was having that feeling with the family member so that you as her high self could grow from that experience?
I'm the guide.
Oh, you are I'm sorry. Okay.
But yes, she had those cycles so her higher self could see the cues, what is it called?
So the higher self could do better going forward?
Warnings, yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, because they need to grow.
Okay. How is it to be her guide?
I'm her higher self's guide.
Okay, you're right. Oh, your higher self's guide. Okay, got it.
Yes.
A lot of layers here.
Yes. It's a learning process. It's a long process, but it's very satisfying. Or we're appreciative of whenever we witness something like this, that the higher self becomes aware that there's some growth that we don't know all necessarily, but together we're growing, and therefore they have the experience of growing, expanding.
Well, as herself, it feels not so good to have a family member do things that are unkind, even knowing that it's for the growth of her high self. Moving forward, will she still have those experiences, or do you have advice for her on how to handle that so it doesn't hurt?
So those experiences were programmed to alert her higher self. They're not they're not experiences that they're not set in, they're not, they're not a certain fate. They can be changed. They were changed. That's why it was different people. It's not one single person. And the similar characteristics that were replaying throughout different people, different humans, was the warning for her higher self. So we can just, that programming has been complete. So therefore, to her, it felt like it was the same thing over and over. But that was just the programming. It was changed to help her higher self also grow.
Okay, understood.
And guide her correctly.
Wow.
So that programming can just be gone, and she'll see those family members changed because that their contracted programming is gone. That part of that contract is gone. It's done.
Okay. Thank you for that. She doesn't have a lot of memories in her childhood. She wonders, was she in a gifted and talented program in school?
Yes.
Okay. And she wonders what was the purpose of that? What went on? Why does she not have memories?
She doesn't have memories because that program was searching for kids who had things that the government was looking for, such as psychic abilities or other ways they could serve their government at the time under those rulings for nefarious reasons. And they were trying to find a way to find kids that could serve those purposes. They're blocked out because she really doesn't need to know anything of that may trigger things that we've already healed for her. They're kind of what you were, when you mentioned the Epstein files, that's kind of what part of those programs were for. It wasn't obvious. It's always happened. It's just been more obscure ways of doing evil things, nefarious things. And that was part of the program. There's other programs that weren't like that. In her school, they would take some of the kids to do certain things, and then they would bring them back to the school under the program's guidelines and exemptions and whatnot. But so she's experienced some things she doesn't need to relive. But yes, she was part of that program, and we've blocked out things that don't really I'm trying to gauge what to say without giving information that she doesn't really need, but still attempt to satisfy her understanding.
Understood.
There were nefarious things done to her in her time during that program. And due to that, a lot of kids had kind of a type of hypnosis to erase those parts of their memory so they wouldn't tell anybody. But the other part was them attempting to find psychic abilities, which I'm going to say many kids, they attempted to block them. If they weren't going to help them achieve their goal, they were attempting to mentally block them from performing their abilities. And there is a piece of why autism became what it is, because it was the workaround to have those children access things that they're blocked from naturally.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. She wonders, what is the point of being able to see the duality of everything?
It's going to come into play with her now, with after healing, her soul being healed together. Now she can explain better, since she has a better understanding of the balance of the duality, since she's experienced it herself. She can better explain to other people, or have a better grasp on what is actually evil versus good, or opposition versus opposition. She can come to that quicker understanding faster than most people, because she sees it, because it is, she does have something to do with it. It's a point where she's it's a point where she's kind of the calling, the warrior calling. That's going to be her shield is going to be the duality. That is the point of her seeing it, of her becoming so aware of it and being so quick at picking it up, because she can easily, like the healer lifetime, when the man was twisting things around, this is what she's fighting against, the opposition, twisting duality. She's coming to certify and explain the duality. It can go both ways, but it can still remain neutral as long as one side does not overtake the other side.
Okay, wow, thank you. And she asks, how are we being supported and helped?
So many different ways. Last time we talked about all the beings that are on Earth in that first session.
Right.
And therefore, like the Bigfoot, they're supporting. Everybody is in a hurry during this transition to ease, because now obviously the veil has been lifting from year to year. And after the change that she was talking about in her question about after the Epstein files, it was kind of like a global awareness that came to light. There's going to be many more of that sort, but by that time, it's going to be more of the collective awareness is, the veil is lifting on the collective awareness, and therefore it is lifting, and everybody is seeing the perspective of the balance. It's going to take some time still, but the support is coming in through humans, through other beings present on Earth, through seeing how kind of silly it is that how did we let things go on for so long, you know, without doing anything about it. Just collectively, the awareness, we're just helping each human, each being rise up to their awareness, to their sense of justice. I'm not sure justice is the right word, but to their feeling of freedom from the oppression that has been on planet Earth for so long, meaning that the oppression has been unchecked for so long, and it was slowly given power through humans. So now it's kind of reclaiming that freedom, that power through each and every single individual and being in the collective awareness.
Okay, thank you.